Good morning, everybody.
Good morning. Well, I guess do we want to just get rolling
I
then?
think so. Let's just jump right in.
Awesome.
Uh, well, I can start with a little intro. Hi, everyone. I'm Emily. I am a 31-year-old engaged woman living in Minnesota. Um, I work kind of a hybrid remote job. And about a year ago, I started kind of like a life health transformation. And so I'm here to talk a little bit about kind of the trials and tribulations of making drastic life changes. And how that looks a year later. So, good morning. I'm happy to be here.
We are so glad to. Oh, go ahead, Jenny.
Oh, I can't hear her.
Jenny, I think you're muted.
Emily, it's so good to meet you, Emily. Emily and I have not met before, but I have been watching your story. I know that Shelby has shared a few things on her the long run or I now want to say the long run project, but on the long run page. And yeah, your transformation has been amazing and inspirational.
Oh, thank you. Um, yeah, it doesn't always feel like that, like in the process of it. So it's nice to hear that is how it makes other people feel. Um, Definitely doesn't make me feel like that all the time. So thank you for saying that.
Well, a little background on. I know Jenny and Emily are just now meeting for the first time on the live this morning. But Emily and I have known each other for about 7 years now. We actually met when I was working at the chiropractor in Dickinson, North Dakota. Hopefully, you're cool with me sharing that you were a patient of that
Yeah.
office.
The
um,
car accident to Bestie pipeline worked really well for us.
Yes, yes. So Emily came in as a patient in the office, and we did a bunch of post-accident rehab together. Um, Really, it was probably us just gossiping and having a really good time in there. Our friendship just clicked from the very beginning. There was one moment. Emily let out like a little toot when we were doing some ab exercises in there, and it was literally, it stopped both of us, and you could tell we both were just like, did we just become best friends? Like,
Yeah.
yep. Yep.
It was
But from there, our friendship just really kind of took off from that point. Um, but Emily has been a client of mine as well for the last like 6 to 7 or 8 months
I think it's
now.
closer to 9 now.
9 months. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, time is flying. Um, but I'm a virtual personal trainer. And so even though Emily lives in Minneapolis and I live in Texas, we're still able to work together. And we are a lot more productive through this professional relationship than we were at the chiropractor office. But just watching Emily start to make those changes even before reaching out to me was a really cool experience. And then just getting to see her grow and change over the last 8 months as not only her friend but her trainer too. It's been really inspiring for me too, just as a woman watching you do this, because it's hard to make those changes and take action every single day. But why don't you go ahead and start, Emily, kind of from like the beginning, that 11, 12 months ago? What was kind of the turning point for you where you're like, I want to make a change?
It's actually kind of funny because my fiance and we got engaged in April of 2024. And we had talked about how we just like wanted to make a change, talked about it over the summer. I flew out to see Shelby and meet her daughter in August of last year. Lakin, I think, was like 7 weeks old, and I was so scared of her. uh, and Shelby and I talked about it too, and how like the process of getting started is the hardest part. So there was like a contemplation period. I mean, for many years before that, where I was like, I don't feel good. I want to make some changes. I don't love what I see when I look in the mirror, and like it really takes a toll. on like your self-esteem, and mentally I was just like really exhausted from being exhausted.
Mhm.
And it's funny that we're talking about this today because my fiance and I were at the state fair on Labor Day last year, and he looked at me and he said, "Let's do it." And I said, "Okay, this week we sign up for the gym." And that Friday we went and did it. And the state fair in Minnesota just so happens to start today. So it's kind of come
Wow.
like it was the last day of the state fair last year and the first day of the state fair this year. So it's kind of come like full circle in that way. And that Friday we went and we signed up at Planet Fitness. I wanted to do something that was as low stakes as possible because I wanted to make sure that like we experienced some success almost immediately because I knew that would help us like keep going. Um, and I think that's important when you start anything like a major change in general is to like make a tiny goal. So like our first goal was 2 times a week we're going to the gym, we're at least walking on the treadmill and maybe like messing around on a couple of machines to do some strength training. And then I did ask Shelby a lot of questions before I was paying her. Shame on me, that's a bad friend. Um, and kind of got more into okay, like what is it that I need to be eating? How am I fueling my body in order to like meet my goals? And so it like another goal was added, and it kind of was like a building process. Um, to to get to like the habits and like consistency that I have now. But we took it really, really slow in the beginning. And I didn't start with Shelby. I started in September of last year and didn't start with Shelby until January because I also didn't want to disappoint her. Like on that, there's a level where I was like, I want to make sure like I am in a place where like I can take what she gives me and actually put it into action. Um, and it took 4 months, wait, 4 months, for me to feel even comfortable because then I also had to open up and be vulnerable about like what I was doing to somebody who might hold me accountable. And she does. She has a very impressive way of holding me accountable from thousands of miles away. Um, so it was really like kind of a long process, um, a slow, long process. I mean, this whole thing is a slow, long process, right? Like, um, and so here we are today. But yeah, that was a lot. That was a lot of information.
No, you're good. I know working with you, Emily, I remember that first conversation we had at one of the brunch places we went to down here when you came to visit in August. And afterwards you had said like just thank you for letting me talk to you and being open, and I could tell it was a really difficult conversation for you to have. So I appreciated just even being someone that you were comfortable enough to share that with, even though it was really hard for you to reach out and ask for some help and some guidance, but mainly just to kind of hold yourself even more accountable to, because the second you tell somebody else you're going to do it, then it becomes even more real for you. Same goes for you and your fiance. It's like the day he was like, hey, we need to do something, it's like, okay, well, now it's real. We have to put it into action because we spoke it. We said we were going to do it. So I thought that was really cool. That's one conversation that I think will always stick with me, about your journey. But you talked about, starting small and kind of building off of, getting one really strong habit and building off of that and getting some momentum. Um, do you mind sharing some of those times where I know we had got some really good momentum going and then it was kind of like, you hit a plateau, or it was like, Holy, this is like getting hard again, even though I've established all these good routines and habits.
Yeah, and it's definitely happened like a couple times. And if I'm totally honest, I am currently in a phase like that, right? Like in the winter, it got really hard. I was having like some stressful things. I mean, I'm planning a wedding, right? So like there's some stuff going on. And then just life in general happens. Where I was feeling really stressed out. And I like to break down what's been hard about this into like three pieces, but one of the biggest ones is for a really long time, we were like conditioned as women or as people to like heavily rely on the scale.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been really difficult for me to transition the number on the scale into like what my actual progress is, because at the end of the day the scale measures weight, right? But that doesn't measure the amount of water that is in your body. It doesn't measure the inflammation you've had from a workout. It doesn't measure, a lot of different factors into why your weight may be going one way or the other. And that has been a challenge for me this entire time. Um, is being like, okay, well, yeah, my weight hasn't changed, but I moved up from squatting 115 to 135 also in the last couple months, so it's like there's like dealing with that disconnect has been really, really difficult. And for 2 months my weight did not change. And I like having to persevere and keep going and keep doing what I was doing, and knowing that what I was doing was the right thing to be doing, and trying not to focus so much on what like the scale was doing at the time was super challenging. Um,
Right there with you, Emily. Like, and Shelby will, working with Shelby, she tells us that all the time, doesn't she? Like,
yeah,
just
yeah,
stay off the scale. I
yeah,
really have a goal of like once a month, and it's like just because I like once a month, I want to see it, but I've had months too. You step on, you're like, how did that not move? I feel fantastic. My clothes are fitting better, and then you're like, why did I step on the scale?
yes, 100%. I'm like, my fiance actually at one point had to hide the scale in the house.
Yep.
And bless him, he's my number one supporter in all of this. No, not me getting emotional. Oh, I love you, Matt, if you ever see this. Um, uh, but yeah, he's really had to help me by like physically removing the scale from my like access, because
Yep.
I was just beating myself up over it. And then
He knows your worth is not defined by that number. Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely, yeah. And not him, I was gonna say something else. um I also had to be at that point, I had to like kind of sit down and be like, okay, what are we actually eating? Because I was like sneaking, they have those, you ever had those skinny dipped like Reese's type things? I was like, oh, I have a couple twice a day, and then I'm like, oh yeah, those are 70 calories, girlfriend. Like it's not like you're just getting like a little quick sweet treat. Like you're actually intaking like 300 calories. And I had to like be okay, like let's get honest about like what we're really doing, because that, I mean, 300 calories extra in the day that I'm accounting for can be a lot when you're talking about like a calorie deficit. And so, like, I think that's also like a big part of it is like being like taking a moment and being like, okay, let me really own up to like what I'm doing and my part in this. Like, yes, there are times where you're doing everything right and the scale is not going to move. And there are times where you can do a little reevaluation and be like, okay, what am I actually doing? And is it really leading me to meeting my goals? And I did have to take a reset. And I remember Shelby and I had to have a really candid conversation about that. Um, and we moved forward, and like things have been better since then. And then till about now, um, this is real life, right? Like
Yeah.
life just gets really hectic sometimes. And the month of August has just been like more challenging for me in general. I've just had kind of a lot going on. It's summertime, right? So like we're grilling or like going to visit family or just doing some things that like are outside of what I'm usually doing
Right.
more often. Like I feel like recently my consistency hasn't been as consistent.
Right.
Um
It's like the whole
and
routine is off, not just this routine,
yes.
but everything. I get totally get
Yes.
that. Yeah.
And I had to admit to Shelby literally last week. I was like, I've been missing workouts. I've been missing workouts. And like I am trying to get back on this week. And I had my bridal shower was last week, which is why I was like, I've been really discombobulated. um, but I was like, I've been missing them. I got to be honest with you, I've been missing them. I've just had so much going on that I just haven't made the time to do it. Um, and so like those are the things, like where I like you kind of lose your consistency and your momentum. It's just more so about like how you pick yourself back up. Like what you're going to do next is more important than the fact that you didn't eat what you wanted to or you didn't get the workout in that you wanted to. It's all about what you do next. Hi, Lakers.
I had to mute us for a minute. I'm so sorry. She was like in the background. So yeah.
Yeah,
um
totally.
Emily, with that, so one of the things, even as a mom, that I'm trying to work on is having like 2 or 3 structured things that I lean on when, the routine has just blown up and it's chaos, right? Because life is like that, where we're gonna have those times where it's like, holy cow, like I cannot get it together, like this happened and this happened and this, and all the things are always going to be happening. So I have like 3 things that I'm like, these are my non-negotiables that help keep me sane in the times where it just feels like you can't do anything that you wanted to do to get towards your goals. But if you could pick, 2 or 3 things, what would those be for you when life is just like blown up?
Yeah. I think one is walking.
Mhm.
Walking just makes me feel better. Um, I got a little frazzled last night, immediately took the dog on the walk. I'm like, we gotta go. And also he loves it, so walking is definitely, I think, my number one. Drinking water. I try and drink a lot of water. And then also, like, if it gets really chaotic, leaning on my like supplements, things that just help me feel better. Um, Taking the collagen because I'm like, okay, at least then that's 15 grams of protein and it's good for my hair, skin, and joints. Taking magnesium at night, so make sure I'm like getting as much good rest as I possibly can. um those sorts of things because those are easy, right? Like
Yep.
it's quick. Okay, everybody take a chug. And then the walk takes 25 minutes, and I can always find time for it. So doing those sorts of things really does help.
Awesome. Jenny, do you have any questions for Emily? I know, um, you're kind of both on similar journeys, even though at different points. And, your lives are obviously different with 2 teenage girls versus Emily, who's just getting married next year. But do you have any questions for Emily?
I was going to say too, even though we're at different lifestyles, this is something I've been working on since I was in that stage. Since before that, it's always been something in my life that, and you go through good periods and you go through rough periods. It kind of comes and goes. But I always think we know what to do. It's just getting it done, and like you said, being consistent. And for me, like Shelby always teases me that I'm either at 110% or I'm not doing it at all. And we have worked on that tremendously over the past few years, and it's getting better. So it's that consistency, but also, like you said, knowing if you do fall off a little bit, it's okay. It's what you do next. I loved those words that you just said. It's what you do next. It's the next choice. It's not, it's like, yeah. And finding that balance, because there's no such thing as perfection, and it's figuring out the balance. And as you go through different stages of life, those are going to shift a little bit, but your core things, you're getting outside for a walk for fresh air, getting your water in, like those are not going to shift. Those things remain the same. There's the same. I was going to ask you, what are your highlights? Like, what over the last 9 months or now you said it's been a year because of the fair,
Mhm.
like,
Yep.
what do you see the most, what are you feeling the best in, like, about, like, what are some of the things that you're like, you look back from a year ago now and say, I'm so glad I started because. Mm.
I like am really, really proud of myself overall. Like this has been hard. It's probably one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life. I'm really proud of like the changes that I've made. My energy level is better. I've had people tell me your energy, like you just seem here more. Um, I think I started running a little bit. I haven't done it in a minute now, but like I remember one of my non-scale victories. It was like negative 1,000 here, and we were leaving the gym, and I had just like my bike shorts on and like a sweatshirt because I'm like, I'm not about to carry around a bag or a jacket in the gym, right? Who would do that? Anyways, um, so I remember like my fiance and I looked at each other and we're like, we're gonna run to the car. And I don't think I would have done that 4 months before. So it was like things as small as like feeling like I feel more brave now. I'm like not as afraid to like try new things or like put myself out there as I was. Like I was hiding. I like didn't want to be seen. I didn't want to be perceived. Like and that's not really a way to like live your life or like get the things that you want out of your life. And so I feel like that has like been one of my biggest accomplishments is that like I mean I'm still a little scared because like being an adult is terrifying. But I'm not as afraid anymore as I was. And I don't think that that's something that maybe gets us talked about as much.
Yes.
In the whole process, like the confidence, people talk about that, like your confidence getting like better. Um, but maybe not talking about like the other side of the coin, which like, yes, my confidence is growing, but like I'm not scared anymore. So
I I hear you. I hear you.
yeah,
I hear what you're saying. And look at you now. You're on social media
I
telling your
know talking
story.
about it.
You're not
So
hiding anymore. Oh my
I'm
gosh.
not. I'm like, hey, look at me. Look what I
Yep.
can do.
Look what I can do. And that confidence just carries into other parts of your, or all the parts of your life. Yeah.
Absolutely. So, shout out to Shelby for being with me along this journey and like long run. I literally could not do this if she did not plan my workouts for me. I almost just flexed on you guys. I'm like, yeah, look.
Yeah.
um, so thank you for everything. I don't think I could have done this without you. Or I would have been a lot less successful. So I really appreciate everything that you've done for me.
I thank you for the kind words, Emily. But really, at the end of the day, I'm like, here's the blueprint. You still have to put in the work, right? You have to do the things. As much as I would love to fly to your house and like be there every day with you and be like, we're doing X, Y, and Z. I can't do that. So it's all you, right? Like
Yeah.
I'm your guideline. I'm there for accountability and support, but at the end of the day, you're the one that has to take action and do those things. So it's a lot. It's hard work. It's a journey and it takes time. And I'm really proud of you for all that you've accomplished. And you've been an inspiration to a lot of people that you're probably not even aware of that are watching you and being inspired, and they're excited for you, and they want to make those changes too. I'm so sorry if it's loud.
Oh, she's good. It's
Okay,
good.
I don't know if you can
Yeah.
hear Lakin like laughing. Um Emily, if you could give just one piece of advice to someone who's listening today that is, maybe in that contemplation stage like you were like a year ago, where they're not quite there to take action yet, what would you say to them so that they could reap the same benefits as you are a year from now for themselves?
Yeah. I think, okay, I'm not gonna lie. TikTok like really helped too. Like I learned a lot from TikTok. I've gotten recipes from TikTok. Like do some research. Look at people who are like doing what you want to be doing and kind of just like learn and then one step at a time, right? Like I had already said, like start small, do something low stakes, like go for a walk a couple times a week. Or if you do want to like start with a gym, give yourself a goal to go twice a week for 30 minutes. It doesn't have to be, I think that's another thing that's been like a realization for me as well is that it doesn't have to be all or nothing. I totally am the same way, Jenny. Like I I think that it has to, like I have to be doing it all or I can't do any of it at all. Like and so I think giving yourself like some grace too that like 70% is better than zero. 50% is better than zero. I think Shelby told me once too, like even a bad workout is still a workout,
Yep.
even if you're not giving it everything. You still got up and you got some movement. And so I think those like three things, like being graceful with yourself, like we're not perfect. We're never going to be perfect. There's going to be a perfect week and there's going to be the worst week ever. And it's all meaningful. So that's my advice.
I love it.
Awesome.
I love
Yeah,
it. Thank
thank
you
you
so
for.
much.
Oh, go ahead, Jenny.
I was going to say the same. Thank you so much for being here with us today and being brave and
Yeah.
sharing your story. And I was going to say with like Shelby named her business The Long Run, and I just immediately fell in love with that because it's not about running. It's literally about wellness for the long run, like just overall wellness. And I feel like she shares that with us. She's not just barking at us to get squats done. It's about it's like overall wellness and um she keeps you accountable but in a very gentle, it's in this like little background gentle way, like she does it. Oh, it's great.
Sometimes it's not, but she knows me really well. So
Right. It just depends what we need. She also seems to know when we need it,
yeah.
like she seems to have that and know like today you need this and the other day she knows like okay today you need this more gentle, like she seems
Yeah.
to know. Yeah.
Sometimes it's like,
Awesome.
Emily, be real, go to the gym. You
Yep,
know that it
yep,
will make you feel better. And I'm like,
yep.
yeah, you're right. And you know what? I think that's been a really cool thing too, is like the gym has transformed from like a chore into something that literally does make me feel better. It happened just yesterday. I was telling Shelby, I was like, I don't want to go today, but I'm gonna go because I like it will help. And it did.
It
So
is so mental. It
it
is so
is.
mental. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Awesome.
Well, thank you guys for having me.
We are so glad you
Exactly,
were here.
Lincoln.
Shelby, is there anything you want to add? And then I'm going to just make a comment on next week's guest speaker. And we're at our half hour now. So,
No, I appreciate you coming on here, Emily. From the day we asked you to come on and you said yes, I've been looking forward to it. I hope all of the listeners today have something to take away from this and are just as inspired as Jenny and I have been with your journey. And I'll say it until I'm blue in the face. I'm so proud of you, Emily, and continue doing it. And I know you're going to accomplish even more really great things. And um, just be an inspiration to everyone around you.
Thanks,
yeah.
guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
All right,
you.
ladies. Thank you guys so much for listening today. And if you have any thoughts that you want to share below, like any, just questions or thoughts or tips, and maybe you guys are like, hey, this is what's working in my wellness journey, please share in the comments. Next week we have Nikki Johnsrud is going to be our speaker. Nikki is one of my best friends, and she runs Cope Consulting, which is I don't even know sometimes how to explain that. Her goal in life is to bring connection amongst women, connection, and teach you how to have joy through all the different periods of your life, and share that with others. And so she's coming on next week, and she's going to talk about transitions, anything from transitioning into, like right now with school starting, we have people transitioning into a new season. Your kids are going back to school. Some people are sending kids off to college for the first time or the last time, transitioning into motherhood, transitioning into maybe caring for adult parents and our older parents. And so right now she's going to talk about transition in general and kind of how to carry joy through some of those transitions, and also connecting with other women at the same time. She's fabulous and you're going to love her. And so next Thursday, same time, same place, we will be here.
Awesome.
All
I'm
right.
excited to hear about Nikki. You and I have talked about her quite a bit, so I'm really excited to hear her talk next
I can't
week.
wait to hear her speak. And she is a speaker. She speaks to women all over, like North Dakota, South Dakota, Montana. Like she's really been expanding her reach and been able to speak to different people in different groups. Oh, and she does the girlfriend getaways, which we have one coming up in the end of September up in Watford City, North Dakota. So if you want to learn more about that, go to her page. It's Cope Consulting on Facebook, or look for the girlfriend getaway. And this one's a 1-day retreat, and then we do a 3-day retreat at the end of January. So they're fabulous and so fun. Okay. All right. Everybody have a great Thursday. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks for being here.